I wanted to ask you about what's been happening in federal parliament this week, and that was the condemnation of the Greens. We know that your office was attacked by vandals as well. Do you blame the Greens for fomenting this social unrest in the community, or did you get to the bottom of who targeted your office and your staff?
No, I haven't. Obviously not personally. The police are taking responsibility for the investigation. I'm not aware of any updates. Look, I just make the point that as political leaders, when you've got fraught issues in our community, particularly ones that are overseas and are very difficult to solve from Australia, the other side of the world, we do have to focus on social cohesion and embrace the tenets of the multicultural community, and that is that everybody's got a responsibility to not inflame tensions and flames in our community, as well as respecting other cultures and faiths. We've done that successfully in this state for decades, and I hate to see the fundamental principles or tenets of that rocked around by political posturing. So, yeah, look, I think the Greens have been embroiled in this to some extent, and you reap what you sow. And at the end of the day, if both major political parties in the federal parliament decided to call them out for it, fair enough. I mean, at the end of the day, they're regularly on stations like this and radio and broad print every single day of the week, bagging Labor and the Liberals and the Nationals, so maybe they've got a bit coming their way.
Well, Anthony Albanese said it's anti-democratic, what they're trying to do, blocking people from getting to electorate offices like yours. But do you see that tension in the community, particularly between the eastern and western suburbs in your state?
I mean, I think it's important to say to an extent, but it's a limited extent.
Yeah.
The vast majority of people that live in Sydney in particular are committed to this city and are proud Australians and recognise that people from different races and religions and faiths live side by side, and we love it. And in fact, there's kind of central tenet that runs right the way through multiculturalism, and that is that people want to live here. It's the best country in the world, and in some instances people have come to Australia to escape or flee a dangerous environment. So we've got to keep fostering that and recognise how great this place is.
You've got to get going, Premier. Your time is running out with me today on the show, but I just quickly want to ask you about Jack's Law. This is in the wake of the Bondi Junction attack. Those laws will pass today?
We expect them to pass today. They went through the lower house yesterday. They're super important for New South Wales. It's about changing the culture, particularly for young people, about carrying knives in our community. Last year, 20 people were murdered in the state with someone using a knife. And I have to say, Brett Beasley, Jack's father, has been such a passionate and empathetic advocate for change. And they wanted to ensure that Jack's death wouldn't just be a statistic and he wouldn't have died in vain. And I have to pay tribute to both his parents. They're wonderful people. I spent some time with them yesterday, and it's a privilege to know them, as well as pass and move this legislation.
Yeah, they are great people. Premier, thanks so much for your time. We'll speak soon.
Thanks, Laura.